like an angel, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise, or as you are, devil in disguise.
Another week.
Another vlog. Hello viewers.
How you doing? I'll just put this down so it's perfect. If you stay in that position, we're looking good. Don't move. Did the cats talk to you?
In some ways.
Talks like an angel?
It talks in many ways. You sounded a lot like like a fart noise.
I see. You've been doing a few of those, haven't you?
Yes.
Another week.
Another vlog.
A chemo-free week.
Yes.
Do you want to care to elaborate?
Well, last week you saw me with no energy because I turned up for chemo on Tuesday. I felt terrible. I turned around to Mum and said, "Mum, I'm not going to have chemo this week." She says, "Don't be stupid, you're having chemo. Got to have chemo. Got to have chemo. Must have chemo."
Must have.
And I had a bad stomach as soon as I arrived in the hospital.
Right.
And I came out, so definitely not having it. And he said, "No, must have chemo."
She was strong for it. She was pushing it.
She was definitely on the chemo side.
She's got shares in the chemo company?
No one wants shares in this day. There's a credit crunch.
Oh, that's true.
Chemo crunch.
The chemo crunch.
And my bloods per week, basically my red blood count, my platelet count was way below the norm.
And what does that mean? What is a red blood count?
You have red blood cells, you have white blood cells.
Okay. And difference being?
One are red and one are white.
Okay. Beyond the obvious?
I don't know.
Okay.
And basically, mine were way below the limit. So, and I was also, my white blood cell count was also below the limit, which makes me neutropenic, which means that I'm susceptible to an infection.
Okay.
And to give me chemotherapy would have weakened me even more, with the possibility of even killing me. So it was seen not to give me chemo this week and give me another extra week to build myself up, get the bloods up.
But you were at least you knew why you were feeling so down.
And the protein markers, the tumour markers, they came down a little bit. So, and the good thing is the treatment won't be going back a week. The deadline date won't go back a week. It's as much as we can get in 3 months.
Yeah.
So next week we're going for cycle 2 of chemo, where we must have chemo.
Right. So this week none again.
This week, as of today, none again. But tomorrow I'm going to the hospital because I get results of the genetic testing we did to see if cancer was caused by a mutant gene in the family.
Okay.
And we'll find out. I mean,
is it unlikely because are you aware of anyone that had it?
No. Well. But unfortunately, I think with my family, a lot of them were wiped out in the Second World War.
Yep.
And so it's very hard. There's no history to judge it on. But they're going to have a look. There's a 25% chance it could be genetic, and that will have. And we'll see what that means. If
you live in a world of percentages these days.
I do.
Good job you're an accountant.
Yes. Or a gambler.
Okay. So I know that you wanted to wish someone a hearty mazel tov.
Oh, a hearty mazel tov. Amanda and Jason, mazel tov. Was at their wedding last night.
A good affair.
A very nice affair.
How did Barry enjoy himself?
He enjoyed himself. He enjoyed himself.
And what about the desserts? I heard.
Don't know about desserts, but the canapes were to die for. Any wedding where they've got mini sausages.
Oh.
Yeah.
Viennas or sausages?
They were both actually.
Nice.
The honey roasted sausages and the mini Viennas.
Oh.
For those of you that don't know what a Vienna is, it's like a kosher saveloy.
It's a Ponzi hot dog.
It's very nice though.
That's smaller.
Yes, very large.
So that was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was a bit strange for me, I must say. I think that was my first real public airing.
Okay.
Since the op and really the diagnosis. And
you didn't have to wear the white dress though.
I didn't wear the bride wore the white dress. I just wore a nice. I wore a dark suit from M&S.
Nice.
And a white shirt.
Yeah.
£15 because my neck size has gone down.
Yeah.
And it was. Yeah, it was. Everyone wished me well, and at times it got a little. I just felt a bit overwhelmed by it all at times. But
It's always nice to be
but
careful.
nice to be careful.
Quite. So this week, are you doing anything specific?
No.
Okay.
Apart from genetic testing.
Yeah.
Friday I go see a psychiatrist. There's a psych consult.
Nice.
Right.
Be like a nemesis for you, wouldn't it?
Hopefully she should be quite attractive.
Is a woman.
I believe so.
Right.
Let her get inside this little lady.
Yeah.
Just yeah, I had no doubt have felt low recently.
Yeah.
I feel much more positive and upbeat again, but I think because I was feeling low, people got worried and thought best to see
A shrink.
a shrink. So I'm quite happy. I hope I lie down on the sofa.
Be nice, relax.
Next week you may see me in a white straitjacket.
We're filming you from an asylum.
Yes.
Big Brother.
Big Brother. No, apologies for our viewers from overseas.
Yes.
So the Big Brother
UK.
UK, I believe you have it in America and Australia and wherever.
98,000 countries.
In Australia's Big Brother, Pamela Anderson walks in as a surprise guest.
Nice.
Well, we have one here, and Mark and I, are the only two people in the UK that follow it avidly. And unfortunately, our great hope, Mario,
Your great hope.
got evicted on Friday. We were hoping to interview Mario, but because I'm going to have to see a psychiatrist, I'm just deemed mentally unstable to see.
It was a risk.
It was a risk for Mario. So now we've got to try and back another winner.
Okay. Because it's quite difficult to like any of them particularly, I find.
I actually, and I'm probably going to ruin all chances of interviewing this person after she's voted out of Big Brother.
Right.
But Lisa, Mario's girlfriend, fiance,
whatever.
I now know who she looks like.
Okay.
Mrs. Potato Head. Because everything's just stuck on. So who do you fancy winning?
Well, I think Luke or I think Darnell might win.
Darnell?
I think he.
No, what I'm saying.
One thing I think he does do is.
Shudder?
Well, no,
Shake?
he actually gives what he says is
Darnell.
very, very true.
Mm.
He's just seemed to be maybe over the edge at any stage.
Mentally unstable.
He does.
Yes, well, anyway.
And obviously because normally on Big Brother, sorry to go on.
No, it's
Normally
short vlog.
Short vlog. Normally on Big Brother, they cut out anything that's legally potentially a problem.
Yes.
However, they obviously let him talk about his drug bust in America, so they must have probably read about it and knew about it. I thought that was quite interesting. Maybe it's just me.
Basically, for me, I just got physically aroused when two housemates kissed. It's been so long.
That's true. That's true. So that's another week, really.
So there's not really more to add. You know, just battling away, chemo free, went to a wedding. You know, and battling on, spirits ablaze.
I don't think I've ever known you, for how long I've known you, in many years, you've ever said ablaze.
It's one you say 3 times, it's yours.
Nice.
I tell you what I did see today.
Very quickly.
I saw Michael Sophocles from The Apprentice, nearly ran him over in Mill Hill, Broadway.
Nice.
Yeah, slippery character.
On that bombshell,
Good night.
bye-bye.